Welcome to Science of Mind Africa. My name is Philip Osumba, and I am very, very honored and very glad to introduce one Christine Hamasi, who is going to share with us a talk about the journey of transformation. And without further ado, let me just welcome her. She'll introduce herself and go straight to her talk. Welcome, karibu sana, Christine.
Thank you so much, Philip. My name is Christine Hamasi, and today I'm so excited and happy to talk about the journey of transformation. So this talk is about the book of Genesis, chapter 7, chapter 37 to 50. You can read it yourself, but I'm going to talk about it in a metaphysical way. So Joseph had dreams. When you read the whole chapter, it is about the dreams. Joseph had dreams of greatness, which angered his brother. So growing up, you find that there's a dream that you have, and you want to brag about this dream. And this is what Joseph used to do. God had given him these dreams, and then he didn't know because he was just 17 years. So he didn't know that God had put something special in his heart. But wherever he was talking about his dreams and what was going to happen, the brothers knew that was something big. And this reminds me about Reverend Connie sometimes back. She used to tell us that don't tell people your dream because you never know who you are talking to. And this is why it reminds me about Joseph, being innocent 17 young boy who doesn't know the dream he has is bigger. He was sharing it with the brother, and the brothers were not happy about this. So the dream is the seed of divine purpose, planted in our consciousness by the Spirit. This is our true self vision, bigger than our current life, beyond what other can see. What God has put in your heart, nobody else can see it, but you can feel it. You can feel the frequency, it is high. But the more we talk to people, when the vision is not very clear, some will take you away from the dream because they will tell you this is not right, this is not this, but you know this is your transformation stage where you get to be awakened. We catch glimpse of who we truly are in spirit, but it is only a seed, not a full tree. This stage is often attract misunderstanding and resistance because the seed is there, but we can't see the whole thing yet. But in between, we have a lot of resistance. We really have a lot of resistance. So Joseph is there, and he has been thrown in the pit. So the brother throws him in the pit, and the pit represents those moments when life seems empty, completely empty and hopeless and stuck. And in this place, we feel tested. At some point in our life, we were in this journey. We were so excited because we saw the big dream. And then along the way, things started happening. Because in these moments, sometimes you just feel empty, like you feel hopeless. And this reminds me, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. And this is something that when you are in Kenya, especially growing up, like I think in class 4 there's this time the teacher will come and you are like, what do you want what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a teacher. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a policeman. But down along the way, the dreams keep changing because these were the excitement when you are in lower classes maybe. But then you grow up and you are like in class 8 and you no longer want to be a policeman. You no longer want to be a teacher. These are some of our dreams. And this is what happens along the way. So Joseph has been thrown in the pit. And now from the pit, the brothers are campaigning, like, what do we do with him? We need to kill him. There are people who will kill your dream. just because they can see the dream is very big and they don't want that dream to mature. So they will kill the dream. So what happens? They plot about killing Joseph. They plot about many things. But if you read the Bible so much, not like a story, just read it in a metaphysical way, you will find that there's so much we can learn from this. There are people who will kill your dream. You can also kill your dream, but they bargained. But one of them said, no, we are not going to kill him, but we're going to sell him. So at this point, Joseph is sold as a slave to a very prosperous person. And during this time, he goes to Egypt. And even in limitation, like when you look at it, sometimes we live in a place where we just see limitation. So in this moment, there's also divine presence within us, which brings excellence. So when we do the work, you see, when he was thrown in the pit, there's that place where you have to do the work, where there's a lot of darkness. And this is the place where I usually say, like, this is the place where you need to call yourself a meeting and talk to yourself. Is this what I really want? Is this where I really want to go? And this reminds me mostly when we were talking, when we had a class where we were talking about the downing and the upping. So there's a time when you are just downing, downing, downing. And at this moment, it is a good place where we really need to ask ourselves, is this really where I want to be? The story of Joseph is, it represents mostly many of us. Many of us, we have dreams, and we have had bigger dreams, and we have had to go through many things because we are in a journey. It also reminds me about the journey of the hero. If you are listening to the journey of the hero, it's so much about this. So at this point, Joseph has gone to Potiphar's house and he has to learn about discipline, humility, and stewardship, because now he's in a foreign land. And in this place, because now he has gone through this, you find that there's also, when the journey starts, when you start knowing yourself, because now you are leaving the outer world, because now you are getting into the inner world. And into the inner world, this is a place where you do the work. So you find that in this place, there are people who will accuse you falsely. There are people who will say, we saw Philip, we saw Christine, and this is what the accusation will be there. So he's in the place now where he has to learn discipline, humility, and stewardship. And there's a lot of accusation, especially from Potiphar's wife, falsely accuses him, and he's imprisoned. So the prison mostly represents the inner states where our progress feels blocked, like we really feel blocked. Nothing is happening, not by lack of calling, but by divine timing. There's timing in everything. This is where faith deepens and self trust grows. We have to be in a place where we feel like we are in a prison, in a place where we have to reflect on our journey, in a place where we have to call ourselves a meeting and choose between the accusation, the false voice that tells you, you cannot do it, you can't even speak in front of the people, you are not even good at this, those are accusation voices. But the inner voice will tell you, it is very possible. And you know what else is possible? You can do this. You are a great person. So this is a place where there's a lot of decision that we really need to make. So now Joseph has been accused of wanting to do something with Potiphar's wife, and he has been thrown in the prison. And now in the prison, this is where he needs to interpret the dreams. And Joseph interprets the dreams for the cupbearer and Pharaoh. So just Joseph's ability to hear God and interpret symbols, it is a reflection of spiritual intuition awakening fully and our transformation enable us to guide others from spirit, wisdom, not our own logic. As we grow through this journey in the science of mind, some of us have gone through a lot of classes. And along these classes, we find that there's a place where we have to go back, like in the discovery classes, because these are new people who are coming in and they really want to know about the science of mind. So along this, we have to learn about our intuition. Are you a mystic? How can you treat? Can you do meditation? Why? Because at this journey, we were at some point at that door where we needed to unfold and fall into our highest good. And we come to that place where we need to teach others, especially the ones who are coming to our discovery class, and even those who are joining the science of mind, and even those who are going to join the study groups. What are we going to interpret to them until we go through personal work? Most of the time, we were being told that we need to do the work within, the work ourselves. Like you just don't wake up and find that everything is, you have to do the work, and the work has to be within. And it reaches a place where now it matches the inside and the outside, because most of the time the beauty lies in the inside, what we can see when we don't see anything good on the outside. So at this point, I it's not about what was I talking about? Okay, the gift we refine after becoming a blessing to others. When we do the work, we become a blessing to others, because you cannot pour out of an empty cup. You have to fill yourself. You have to do the work. You have to do the work from inside. You have to grow by, and how do you grow? By learning, by reading, by journaling. So those are some of the things that make us grow. So Joseph did not limit himself because he was in a prison. He was willing to unfold into the highest. And now he has to interpret even the dreams. The place which is full of manifestation, divine purpose, is not about ego. It is about stewardship, using our position to preserve life and serve others. This is, it takes love. And sometimes you hear people say, what is your religion? And for us who are in science of mind, I think we say, my religion is love and my religion is kindness, because that is where we have learned to love. This is where we come to learn kindness and love in a different way compared to the when we were on the other side. Because maybe when we were on the other side, I would define love like, when I give you money, that is love. When I give you, I don't know what that is love. But I think from this journey, I've come to understand that love, my religion is love, because I love everybody. I don't judge. That is how I feel love. But I've been in a place where if I'm going through something very difficult, you look at me like, you have to repent, you have to do this. Like there's a lot of judgment tied on that. But when my religion is love, it's just, I have to love you the way you are. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was telling me, Christine, can you, like, she was talking to me, how much money do you have in your bank? And I said, I just have miracles. I measure my life by miracles. When I see a baby smiling, that is a miracle. To me, I don't look unto it as, like, I don't look into millions. I look into how many life can I change by putting a smile on their face. That is to me a miracle. So I look at it and I know my story is not very, Joseph's story is not very different from my story. Growing up, as I said earlier, I wanted to become a doctor. And down the line, situation made me not to become a doctor. And what happened? And what happened is because every time I went home, and my brothers and my sisters, and we were talking about, when I grow up, I want to become a doctor. And, being a smart girl in school, I knew my stepmother was like, that you'll never become that doctor. And that is how That is how I dropped out of school because I used to brag so much. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, if I had not bragged about become a doctor, maybe I could have stayed in school. But my school had to be terminated because I was bragging so much. You see, just like the way Joseph was saying, like, I saw you bowing down on me and doing this. If he was silent, maybe they could not have thrown him to the pit. Maybe they could not have sold him to Pharaoh. But this is something that when we were in class with Connie, she used to tell us that don't tell people about what you are doing, like especially the classes you are taking. As you know, especially in Kenya, sometimes back, these teachings were not very open to the world, and people will associate you with a lot of things. So I think for me, she used to tell me, until when you are stable enough and you know what you are doing, that will be the time when you have to do it, talk to others about this. So true transformation ends in wholeness, forgiveness, release us from the past and restore unity within ourselves and within others. I think it took a lot of time for me with Reverend Connie to like to show me the reason why I needed to forgive. Because for me, I thought, like, when they say, like, sometimes you take poison expecting the other person to die, yet you took the poison. So I thought by just having this anger in me and being bitter, that it was serving me in anything, until I was told that I have to forgive and release. Forgiving is not easy, but it is a tool that sets us free, because I was holding so much pain. I was holding so much luggage that was even making me not to move forward, because I'm holding to this. And when I learned to release and to forgive the past, that was really one of the most awakening moment of my life, because I felt light. I felt I could do the work. Whatever was holding me was that. And Joseph just did that because in transformation stage, we see that every pit, every prison, and every delay was part of our becoming. So sometimes we say that every delay, it is for the good. Yeah, it is for the good. Recently, I went to see my friend, and she delayed. She delayed me a little bit, and until I felt like I'm not comfortable. But the delay was for the highest, because after the delay, by the time I'm coming to the road, uh, there was an accident. And maybe if I had come earlier, I don't know what could have happened. So sometimes the delays, they are all for the good. So the delays and everything were happening for the good. So most of the time we have to do the work, we have to forgive, and the journey has to continue. So the story of Joseph uh, really is one of our own, because I know every one of us has the dream the way Joseph had. And down the line, before you get the clarity, you will keep maybe even asking the wrong person who will give you the wrong direction. And we have to forgive our brothers and sisters along this journey. I remember Reverend Connie used to tell me, Christine, I didn't say, I expected everything just to go like, when you join this teaching, you just think heaven, everything is just going to be on the silver plate. But sometimes you reach somewhere and you feel so like it's not what you told me. So sometimes I would get mad and I'm like, Reverend Connie, this is not what you told me. You told me to get into the class and my life was going to change. When you say change your thinking, change your life. I really wanted it to change immediately. But at some point, she used to tell me, like, I didn't say the journey was going to be easy. I just say, let us keep unfolding every step and see what is going to happen. So I think every journey, Joseph had to learn to forgive his brother by saying that you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Sometimes we look unto ourselves when we are walking this journey and we are like, no, I didn't expect it to turn out this way. But God is making you walk through it so that you can see the beauty. Like you can look back and say like, oh, that is where I was. And especially for those people who have been in this teaching, you cannot unlearn what you have learned. Like you cannot unthink. You know, sometimes when I wanted to give up, and then I would be on the road going back home with Michael and with Wilkisa, and I would say, I'm not going to come back to class again. And Michael will say, but you cannot unthink what you have already learned. And then you could laugh, and I would say, by the way, I can't go back and think the way I used to think. That is not possible. So along this journey, we have to forgive ourselves. We have to release ourselves from the past, because the past does not even define us. And also, we have to forgive those who have really hurt us along the way, because they were teaching us a lesson. They were teaching us a lesson. So sometimes I look back at myself and I'm like, if I had not gone through what I had to go through, if I had not stopped going to school, would I be in a position to understand what the girls go through? I couldn't. But now, if I'm talking one-on-one with a girl, I'll be able to understand the girl who really need my support, and the girl who has everything, because God allowed me to go through this so that I could be in a position that I can support these girls. So one time, uh, some years back, around 20 years ago, even before I joined the Science of Mind, I had a dream. I had a dream. God was telling me something, you know. During that time, we used to say God was telling me something, but I had God telling me that, Christine, you are going to be a mother of many, many, many. And that time I really struggled with God. I said, no, I can't. Like, I don't want to. Like, I was in a denial. Like, why should I? Because we had some conversation. I was praying about some few things, and I was expecting very good answers. And what just came back was like, you are going to become a mother of many. And I was like, I can't do that. You know, I can't. So I had to run away from Nairobi, went to Western to live there, because I didn't want, because I was serving in the church. Then I was serving in the church, and I didn't want anything again now to hear about that. Because if God, you have said you're not going to do this for me, because I requested for you to give this, and you are telling me you're not giving me this, you're giving me this, then I'm not going to serve you. So I had to run away and go back to Western Kenya, because I didn't want to hear anything about that. But recently, there's a book I'm writing, and the book is called Raising Your Ebenezer. So when I'm giving the script, it reminded me about 20 years ago when I had this, and then I was looking at it today, and I was looking at how many children I have raised, how many children are in the universities, how many children are working, because God put that dream in my heart. And then I was very bitter because I didn't want to do that. But when I had to accept it, so yesterday when I was giving the report about what happened during that time, and I was giving the names of these children, and I was like, God, I didn't even realize that it was this much. So sometimes God puts a dream that you think, this is too big, I cannot do it. So when God told Joseph that those small pieces, nobody believed him. His brother knew what was, but the father did not want to believe that it was possible. Sometimes our children will come and talk to us about the dreams that they have, and we'll be like, no, it cannot happen. Like, I don't know how we measure this, but inside you, when God puts something, he knows he will do it. After sometimes when I accepted, okay, God, you know, you cannot fight. You know, when you are in religion and you think about God in this bigger way, he will come, he will do this. And I was like, oh, God, you think I'm not going to fight with you now, but now I accept, like, I totally accept I can't win. You win. Okay, let's make the deal. So uh, I had to to say what I wanted him to know, and I had that feeling that he had responded. But now I know we are one in the mind of God. We connect. Like, it is easier for me not like the other time when I had to wait for him to come so we can have a conversation. But now I just create that space and everything is good. So Joseph was one 17-year-old old, old boy who was a teenager, and he had a vision. And most of the time at our, when we are talking about the creative thinking, when we are talking about our vision, mostly we do it as a seed. It is a seed, because when God put that vision in you, it is a seed. And it had to be broken down. You know, when you have to plant the seed in the, like, you have to break it, you have to put it in down in the soil, so it has to be the pit. The pit is the pit, the to open up. And to develop a character, you also have to develop a character. Like, you have to do something in your house, like the house, your body, everything, mind and everything, because there are things that you'll have to let go. You have to clean the house because there are things that you have to. And also during this journey, you have to endure delays, which are the prison. Like, there will be delays. Not everything will happen immediately. You don't plant a seed today and tomorrow you have the demonstration of what you planted. So there's delays because there's time for the seed to grow, there's time to germinate, there's time for rain to come, and there's everything. So delays, which is the prison. And we have to activate our spiritual gifts, where we get interpretation, and that is mostly where we are in class, where we talk about these, because the way you are going to understand it is not the way I'm going to understand it. And that is why we are in class. And I think that is why we are doing study groups, because uh, someone who is a little bit like unfolded really will be able to support somebody who has just started this journey. So it's so beautiful, because we have to activate our spiritual gift, and we have to step into our purpose, which is the palace, and live from love, forgiveness, which is reconciliation, because we have to make reconciliation even with ourselves. I I had to reach a place where somebody who loved me so much, and she had every time I was blaming myself. I really wanted to stay in that place of negativity, in that place of victim, because in the place of victim, I was getting a lot of attention, I was getting pity, and my life was feeding on the negativity. I would feel good because, you know, I wanted to be a victim. But until she asked me, Christine, can you forgive your past? Like, forgive your past and let it go. So we see from this story, it also teaches us that when Joseph was able to forgive his brothers, a lot was able to happen. But do you think it is easy? It is a journey. It is a journey. I remember we used to say, I'll forgive you, but I'll never forget. But when you let it go, you really open a place of blessing. So I was not happy when I was told to forgive my past and let it go, but that was the healing moment. Like, letting go of that really burden that I was holding me was really good. So Joseph's journey is a soul path from the dream, death, and destiny. So sometimes we are being told, like, we have to die the body. Like, there are things that we have to let them die. Like waking up in the morning, and before even you do your meditation, before you treat, before you just jump on your phone and you're on Facebook, you are on Twitter, you are here. Like, there are some things that you have to let die, because you have to do the work. And for you to see what is happening, these things have to die for you to see the destiny. So if you want to see the good, you have to do the work yourself, and it has to be clear. And this is a roadmap. Sometimes when I'm teaching people, I'll ask them to take a book, and I ask them to put it here. And I tell them, like, can you draw your eyes, draw your head, draw your... So when they look at it like this, they start laughing, because until it's you remove it, you know, when the Bible says that write down the vision, when it is just in your mind, it's vivid. But you know, when you write it down, it's like you are walking your journey, you are walking through your vision. It is very powerful. So, and I think this is the reason why we are being taught to do journaling, because when you are journaling, a lot comes down. You are you find a lot of glimpse of a lot of blessings. So this is very powerful. When you are writing it down, it becomes clear, it becomes inspiring, and it is also a roadmap to transformation. So this is what I would say, that when we are in this journey, let us have some discipline, and let us serve others by our gifts. I know, even you, Philip, sometimes I reach out and I'm like, I need this, I need it to be done like this, because you have done the work. I can look to you as a mentor. I can look to you as someone who can support me in so many things, just because you have done the work. So by Joseph interpreting the dreams, it is also our gift, not only for us alone, because this was a gift that he was sharing with others, which transforms and equip us to lift others up. I realize that even when I'm reading a book, I'm not reading this book for me. I'm reading so that I can understand, so that like in my community, I'm so ready to go and serve in my community. There are those people who will not be able to read it, but once I read it, I'll be able to interpret it to them the way they are going to understand. So I have to do the work also, and do this work with a lot of love, because I'll be giving back to those who are not able to read. So, and we have also to reconcile. Uh, you meant evil, but God meant it for good. The journey ends with wholeness, seeing how every trial was part of God's design. If the brothers had not told them this, and remember when you read this story, uh, it came a time when there was famine in Egypt, and now they had to come. There was famine, and these people, they had to come to Egypt for food. And now Joseph is there. He's the king. He's the king of Egypt, and he has to feed them. He has to give them food. So sometimes the people who betray us along the road, they do it so that they can push us out of our comfort zone. So when they push us out of our comfort zone, we do the work. And it comes a time now, these people want to come and they need our support. Do we remind them, you remember what you did to me? Do you remember how you treated me when I was vulnerable? No, we are in this place so that we can transform, and so that we can be a blessing to other. So I love the story of Joseph, because it so much resonates with my story. And Joseph's journey teaches us that dream is planted in visions, and tested in trials, and fulfilled in love. So the transformation is not just about getting to the palace, it is about becoming the kind of person who can live there with wisdom, humility, and grace. So, what are we willing to do to transform our life? Are we willing to walk the journey of faith? Are we willing to forgive others? Are we willing to do the work inside so that we can see the beauty? Someone was asking me yesterday. I sent a clip to the person who is writing the book, and he was like, Christine, sometimes I just wake up and I listen to this and I cry, and I'm like, that was long time ago. We have already transformed. Life is beautiful. Whatever we had to go, or whatever I had to go through, it was it was preparing me for who I am today. And one of the clip was like how I had to forgive my community, because when she told me like, it is time for you to go and work with your community, I said like, no, are you even kidding me? How do you even expect me to go and work with a community that treated me so bad? Growing up, they denied me education. They denied me this. And she was like, it is not about that. It is about healing. It is about transformation. And I was like, but I still feel like I forgive them, but I didn't forget. And she was like, but now this is the time for you to do it. So the healing has not only come to me. I've healed now, I've forgiven them because we have to work together. And she was just doing this purposely because I served many communities. I've served in Masai Mara, I've served in Bomet, I've served in Narok, I've served in Kisi, but I never wanted to serve in my community because I still had that bitterness. But until she told me, like, you have to do it for your community. And I really had to call myself a meeting. And when I did, I felt so much lighter. I felt so much clarity, just because I had to call myself. I had to forgive myself first. And then now I had to talk to these people. It's not like I just went and say, like, Philip, I forgive you because you did that. No, we just started showing love. Like, when we say my religion is love and kindness, you don't judge, them. You don't remind them what they did, but you just create that place of love and service. So much healing has taken place. And I want to say today in my community, we have so much that has happened. And do you know, one day my mom had passed away? Not my biological mom, my stepmother had passed away. And one of my two friends, the Maasai, were coming because we were going to do something somewhere in Western, and they came to my house and to my daddy's house, and there was no water to drink. So I sent them soda, and they said, we are not talking soda, we want to take water. And I said, we don't have water. And one of them had to come in the house to make sure we don't have water. I said, we don't have water. And he was like, why don't you have water? I said, because our rivers, our spring water dried long time ago. So if I have to go to the river now, I'll have to wait for 3 hours for me to get water. So maybe I should just buy you water from the shop. He said, no, you cannot deny your people water, yet we are drilling water. Like, we were going to do spring water in Butere. And he said, that is not fair. Why are you so bitter? And I said, these people treated me so badly when I was growing up. I can't even give them water. Why was I living in bitterness? Because I had not forgiven. So we go there. He sees, he takes picture, and he goes and report it back to my boss. She doesn't even have water at her home, and yet we have been doing this. So forgiveness is a key. It is a key for many blessings. And when I accepted that we can have water to my community, so when I was doing the water, like when I was writing a name, you have to remember where you were. So when I wanted to remember that I am the one who made this spring water. So when I was doing the name, I realized the person who had done the spring water before was my father. And I didn't even knew this because the bitterness and had really taken over me. So I was so surprised, and I said, like, can you rub it? Don't put that name there again. Rub it. Put it there, my name. So I went home and I was talking to my father and say, like, I didn't realize that you were the one who had made this spring water. And say, like, yeah, uh, when I was working, this is one of the projects that I gave back to my community. And I was like, I didn't know I was stepping into what my father had already started doing. He was so happy and excited. And that is how my community was able to get clean water. So what does clean water mean? It means water is life. Water can cleanse everything. So metaphysically, I learned that water is very powerful. And I was just stepping into leadership that my father was. I was just blocking myself because I was looking back. But I want to say today that forgiveness is the key, and doing the work is the key. And don't keep yourself thinking about the past and whatever. Let it go. Bless it and let it go, and see how you can step into the leadership, into the palace. Everybody, the palace is the higher place, the highest, like the high table, whatever it is. And that is why I always say, like, when we are doing meditation, mostly we see a world that is beautiful. We see a place that we really want. That is the place. Let us dwell in this place of peace, in this place of love. Let us let go of the bitterness. Let us let go the people who mistreated us down along this journey. And it reminds me mostly about, this is what I always remember. Connie told me, I didn't say it was going to be easy, but let us do the work. So on a daily basis, let us do the work. That is what I will tell the listeners. Let us do the work. Let us do the work from inside. And the beauty of the palace and everything will just unfold. Yeah, so thank you so much. That is
Thank you so much, Christine, for this powerful talk. You led us from the hero's journey to forgiveness, to journaling, to love, to care, to service. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to listen uh, from this talk. And I'm so glad we had this talk. I am sure we'll have so many others. And on behalf of myself and everyone in Science of Mind Africa, we are looking forward to your book. We are looking forward to reading it. We're looking forward to learning from you, because there's so much wisdom that comes from you, from the way you've lived. And it's so special to listen to you, because you don't hide the dark parts. You don't hide anything. You give your all. And because you give your all, then it gives others the opportunities to learn and to know that in this journey of life, we are not alone. So thank you very much, Christine. And this has been Science of Mind Africa, with a talk from Christine known as The Journey of Transformation. Thank you for listening. And until next time, namaste and God bless.